Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm thrilled you're here. As you can see, Facebook is still having a few challenges with trying to get itself sorted out. And so once again, you get the long version of me instead of the wide version of me. So good morning. I'm thrilled you're here. If you don't know who I am, I'm Rita Hickman. I'm a body-mind expert and a Shiatsu massage therapist, and my specialist is helping women who are in narcissistic or toxic relationships really get healthy, find themselves again, get that foundation. Hey, Chanel, nice to see you. So that they can make big changes in their life, so that they can either, stand up for themselves or heal or walk out of a situation or find a new job. I really work on those foundational scaffolding pieces. And so I'm thrilled that you're here with me today. So tonight we have our Narcissism Expert series again, and that's going to be with a good friend of mine. Hey, Dina. Shona Sharma. She is in Scotland, I believe, and she is an EFT expert. If you don't know what EFT is, it's called Emotional Freedom Technique, and it's that tapping. Now, tapping is something that's works with the meridians and works with the acupressure points and the acupuncture points and Asian medicine in order to help you get rid of the electrical charge of your emotions. Because when you, hey Kellyanne, because when you have a strong emotion, what happens is it builds up an electrical charge. And when you compress a cell, when you push on it or tap on it, it releases an electrical charge. So tonight we're going to be talking about EFT, how EFT works, how you can use it, and it dovetails perfectly into the rest of the topic tonight, which will be on what self-care really looks like in the real world. Self-care, when you listen to a lot of people, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't, it sounds like good ideas, but what happens when you're really exhausted? What happens when you feel beat up or when you feel sick to your stomach? A lot of these self-care things are much more basic than what other people are talking about. When people talk about meditation being so helpful, what they really mean is paying attention and being mindful to your surroundings, paying attention to your senses, getting your senses involved, doing something that sensory feels good so that your mind isn't going someplace else and thinking about other things. So it's about being really present, but people will use big words like meditation, and then of course we all give up because where we're at is, we aren't relaxed enough to meditate. So, there's different things like that. Or when we talk about taking care of your body or nourishing your body, many people think that you have to have some crazy off-the-hook diet, that heals everything and you can only eat avocados for a month. That's not really it. It's simple things like helping your body trust you by giving it a schedule. Your body is its own big separate entity from your conscious mind. It's got its own needs, its own purposes, its own desires, its own cravings. And so when we talk about nourishing your body, sometimes it just means eating breakfast at a regular time so that your body knows what to expect, or keeping water around and drinking water when you drink it, so when it's there, so your body knows what to expect and can start to trust you. Because as long as we're doing things to ourselves that keep our body from being able to trust us, it's going to feel anxious. And then when we feel anxious, our mind looks for reasons. And the reasons are usually not really the reasons. The reasons are basics like doing self-care. It's so easy to get trapped into these ideas of who we're supposed to be or what we're supposed to do. Instead, it's about living naturally. Hey, Jody, it's about living in a way that is in tune with who you are. So if you're feeling stuck because everybody's talking about self-care and all this time you should be giving yourself to work out or to meditate or to, enjoy yourself or get a massage, if people are pushing this and you're looking at your day and thinking, there's no way I could fit all of this in my day. And that's true, because it's not about doing everything when it comes to self-care. Hey, Melissa, it's about doing the things that you need right now. I have a coach that I work with, And one of the things they talk about is the training that you need right on time. So you get the information, you get your needs met right on time. You don't think further ahead, you don't look at the past, instead you say to yourself, what do I need right now? So if you're trying to put a million different patterns into your life, hey Melissa, and it's just not working because you feel overwhelmed and because you feel exhausted and because you don't have enough time in your day, that's what this conversation tonight's going to be about. Getting into a space of checking in with yourself and knowing accurately what it means. You know, many times when I feel angry, it usually has to do because my stomach feels inflamed or my small intestines are inflamed. You know, if I'm feeling depressed, it's usually because I'm dehydrated. If I'm feeling anxious, it's usually because I ate too much sugar or too much salt, you know, or too much caffeine. So I want you to start looking at the foundational pieces of self-care. It's not about doing a million things. It's not about being a guru or being a nutrition expert or being an exercise expert. It's all about looking for what you need right now at the right time. And so tonight we're going to be talking about that, how in a pinch you can use EFT, you know, and the tapping in order to get you to a good space, and how that's self-care. Hey, Peggy. Or how looking at today you're going to do a juice. You don't have to do a juice every day. You know, you get to do things as you need them. So instead of trying to be everything to everybody, including yourself, we're going to get good at recognizing what things actually mean and what your emotions and your exhaustion, what you can really do about it right here, right now, without having to create some sort of elaborate spiritual practice in order to feel better and get back on track. Okay? So I'm excited about tonight. I hope you can join me at 7:30 tonight, Central Standard Time, right here. And Shona and I are going to talk about the hacks and the things that we've always used in order to bring us back into balance. And it's typically not what you think it is. Most people think when they think about self-care, as I said, it becomes like this elaborate day at the spa. And self-care can literally mean taking 5 minutes and paying attention to your breath, or getting up and going and getting a drink of water. It can literally be as simple and quick and easy as that in order to get you back in balance, because our physical self is 90% of the cause of our emotions and our energy, about how we feel in our state of mind. And when you can start working with yourself and getting things in place that physically make you feel good, it becomes so much easier. Hey, Christine, nice to see you, okay? So, looking forward to seeing you tonight. Your homework assignment today is to show up tonight. And if you can't show up, watch the recording, because there's going to be a lot of great information, a lot of great nervous system hacks and body-mind hacks, and a really fun conversation with a friend of mine from Scotland, okay? So, let's see. Powerful question from Chanel. When you're doing everything right in your mind to accommodate the narcissist, and they create an altercation, a delusion, and tell you to get out, riddled with anger, do you match the extremism and do exactly as they say, or do you just write it out? You know, this is on the same pathway. Many times, if you know these things are going to happen, and they are, if you're in a relationship with someone who's toxic, and you know they're going to randomly attack you, what you do is you have a game plan, and usually like 3 or 4 game plans about how you want to handle something. And we look at it in an experimental point of view. So, let's say one time you decide to match their extremism and see where that gets you. Get the experience from that. Maybe you decide then to grab your stuff and slam the door and walk out and leave, and see how that works for you. Okay, and then the next, and get the feedback from that. Did that work? Did that not work? You know, and then the next time, maybe you write it out. Maybe you know, wait it out, do the things that keep you grounded, and see how it turns out. You get to get mad before you're actually mad. You get to get grounded before you need to get grounded. You get to do the things preemptively and have some plans in place so that you aren't caught off guard, so that you're not coming from a place of reactionary. You're not coming from a place of fear or anxiety or being pushed over the edge. And that's a lot about what the self-care looks like. It's about putting the things in place so that when random things, you know, like a narcissist or someone else who's toxic, you know, comes out of the blue and punches you in the gut, that you have at least 3 or 4 things that you're going to decide in that moment which one you're going to do. You've got a game plan. You've got an idea and enough things in your body keeping you grounded, enough things in place that you can come from a rational point of view and not a reactionary point of view. Because when we get so triggered that we get hijacked by how we feel, then we tend to do things based on fear, not based on what's in our best interest or what might be in the best interest of the relationship. Sometimes relationships require somebody to get mad or to walk out or to be sad or to be neutral and give nothing. That's what you get to decide what direction is in your best interest. So Chanel says her rationale is silence. And that's one tool to use. You know how you break out of that? You break out of that by trying different things. Maybe silence one time, maybe anger another time, maybe a dramatic expression of yourself a third time. You get to try different things when you're coming from a grounded place. It doesn't trap you. I know a lot of times I would be silent or quiet because that was part of the fight, flight, flee, or fight, flight, faint, or there was another one. Sorry, I can't remember. But when you're in that space of fight or flight, you're not in your rational mind and you're making decisions based on your old emotions, based on your own fear. Yes, when someone is in your face, literally, listening is very important. Hey, Tara, nice to see you. It's important for you to listen to you more than anything, to listen to you and the place that you're in and what you need right now. Maybe you've got so much anger built up that you need to express that anger too. And make sure you express it in a way that, you aren't going to have to clean up a big mess later on. One of the things that we learn as adults, hey, Kara, is that when you break the window, you're the one who has to clean up the mess. And so you might not want to do something where you have a big mess to clean up. That's one of the things about reacting to stuff. You get to not only react from a feeling place, and tapping helps you get into that spot. It helps dial down the emotion enough so that you can come from a really grounded place and say, you know what, I've got enough anger about this that I'm going to speak my truth right now and make a dramatic exit. Or maybe you'll say, you know what, I don't have enough emotional charge around this and I really don't want to deal with their crap. So instead, I'm going to detach. I'm not going to respond. I'm going to be silent, and then I'm going to go get my needs met. You get to decide how you want to do it, but it's a lot easier to do it when you come from that place of self-care. When you know that when you feel sad, it's probably because you're dehydrated, and then you can drink more water, and then you won't feel so sad, and then it'll be easier to be rational. That's exactly what I mean. When we figure out how your specific body works and how to get you into a grounded place, then you get to try a lot of different options. You get to try a lot of different tools and get the feedback from them and see how they work. How did that feel? Did you like that? Did you not like that? You get to put the power back in your own hands. What we tend to do when we're around toxic people is we give them the power to control how we feel. And that's not good. It's not good to give up our power to let someone else control how we feel. We get to control how we feel. And when we do it through the body, when we do it through tools like EFT, tools like mindfulness, when we do that, then we can come at the situation from a very balanced place. Yes, no reaction, except that your face could not express any other emotion than fear. And that's the thing. We don't want to be trapped in a situation where we're constantly fearful, where we're constantly anxious and we feel like somebody's beating us up and that we have no control to stop that. That's what keeps us trapped. When we start realizing that we have power, we have control over how we feel, we have control over what impacts us, we have control over how we can respond to a situation, whether we stay and be silent and be neutral, or whether we leave, or whether we call a friend, or whatever it may be. When we decide for ourselves how we want to handle a situation, not coming from a place of anxiety or fear, that gives our power back to us. When we feel like we're helpless and there's nothing we can do except tolerate something or be beat up or be emotionally hijacked, when we feel trapped by that, we're giving somebody else our power, not realizing that we have a lot of ability to affect how we feel. Other people may tip us over the edge, absolutely, and their behavior may be off the hook and wrong and inappropriate. But at the end of the day, we are responsible for how we feel, whether we keep these people in our lives or not, whether we decide to do things like self-care so we're not so exhausted, so that we can stand up to them and maybe show them another way to have a relationship. I had a friend of mine that worked at a cardboard factory, and they used to fight all the time, a very male patriarchal sort of thing. And, my friend got tired of all of this anger around him all the time. Hey, Jenny. And so the next time somebody came and picked a fight with him, what he did is he fought with them. They're spitting, they're pointing fingers, they're yelling at each other. Hey, Karen, they're off the charts with, throwing things, knocking stuff over, and then about 7-8 minutes in, my friend then stopped because he was in control the whole time, right? He stopped and he said, is this how we really want to do this? Is this how you want this to work? Is this how you want to relate to another human being? And he brought it back up. Now, when you're in a balanced place because you've been drinking your water and getting your sleep and doing some mindfulness practices and have good friends and get things to relax, when you do those things, you're able to stay in that place and use that as an experiment. Use it, maybe as a teaching tool, depending upon the person and what they mean to you in your life. You get to do that. But you have to be able to manage and be in a good place in your emotions first. And when you can do that, then you have that power to guide where that situation's going to go. Whether you want to put up with something or not, whether you want to walk out or stay, whether you want to be silent or whether you want to yell back. It doesn't really matter what you choose. The big shift in perspective is that you have a choice. My father-in-law, when I first met him, I was like 20, 21. And one of the things he said has stuck with me for forever, which is in every situation you have at least 10 options. And most of my options, that I would start coming up with were bad. I could run away, I could, drive off a bridge, I could change my name. I'd start out with a few of them. And once I start thinking about that, then I would come up with better answers. I'd come up with better solutions. But we always have choices. Yes, I understand when they are responsible for your livelihood and you owe them and they resent you and they're riddled with anger and holding on to their past and redirecting that past pain onto you. Yeah, it's hard. In situations like that, what I do is I have a game plan ahead of time and say to myself and maybe say to them, the next time you do this, this is how I'm going to respond. The next time that you blow up at me and you're resentful to me and you speak to me with that tone or that energy, I'm going to go stay at a girlfriend's. Cut me off, because I would rather find a way to make this work than allow you to minimize me and make me feel as if I'm nothing. Now, if you're not ready to do that yet, if you don't have enough things in place, let's say you don't have enough friends that you could stay with, or that you don't have a job that you could get, or you've got health issues and you need them to take care of you, then that's still your choice. It's still your choice that you decide to stay silent. But a lot of people look at choice in a really bad way. They look at choice as in, well, it's your choice, so you better just suck it up and deal with it. That's how a lot of people look at choice. And choice is really very empowering. When you know it's not a good situation for you, when you know it's not safe and it's dangerous and your livelihood is dependent upon it, you're choosing to be silent. That's good for you. That's your choice. It's taking your power back in some way until you're ready to make a different choice, until you have enough things in place or enough support or help or friendships or connections or wisdom or strength or energy that you can make a different choice. But always knowing that this is your choice and you have another choice available to you is very empowering. It shifts the power. Choice. It's not matching that negative energy. It's choosing for yourself what's in your best interests at this moment. And it's not always making a dramatic exit. Sometimes in your best moment, what's best for you, especially in a difficult situation, is to stay, is to do what you need to do. We don't all have the luxury to leave. But in the meantime, while you're choosing to stay, you're doing these other things on the other side until you get to the point where you don't have to stay anymore. until you feel strong enough or supported enough or secure enough or capable enough in order to make that change. You don't have to change things now. You don't have to be dramatic. You don't have to force somebody to be something different. But when you know that you're making this choice and you're making it for very good reasons and you're going to start putting things in place to make a different choice, it's a big power shift. And the other person can start to feel it too. Because then your energy is, sleeping with the paperweight is a choice. Absolutely. And many times it can be a good choice if you're doing it to protect yourself. I totally get it. I totally get it. So you have to look at your situation realistically, and you have to decide for yourself, knowing that you're deciding this is the choice that you're making, and that you can make a different choice even if right now isn't the right time. And that maybe you need to get some resources or things into place so that you can make a different choice. Okay? So, it was a long live stream this morning, and I'm thrilled you all were on. Show up tonight at 7:30. Me and Shona, it's going to be great. And if you feel stuck in a narcissistic relationship, or you're trying to heal from the damage from a toxic situation or toxic relationship, or get a different job, or find, a different romance, or whatever it may be, reach out. I've got a coaching program that I do, and that I can help you make some really great changes within just a few months. It doesn't take that long once you start getting those things into place, okay? You are more than welcome, Chanel, and I hope everybody has a great day, and I look forward to seeing you tonight. Bye!